Hello and welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
That means I'm still Sharyn.
Right? Did you forget this about that you were Sharyn?
I forgot my name.
Just kidding.
We are acting very
Welcome
silly
back,
today.
everyone, to another week of Conversations with yours truly. So before we get into today's topic, we're going to do shout outs. But before even that, do you have any announcements?
The announcement is that we're getting ready for Pride already. It's
Yes.
only the end of February and we're getting ready to get ready. And the other thing is really appreciate you guys supporting Sherry Shepherd's show, Sherry. She's doing very well in the ratings, and she's a good person. She's funny, she's entertaining, and she's so very deserving. So if you're looking at her and you like her, keep looking at her, please. Thank you so much.
Yes. And please think about coming to the San Diego Pride. We really do have a good time here at the Pride. And like I was saying in the other videos, is that, there's other things that's going on outside of our Sunday brunch, which closes out the Pride. But so just let us know. If you want to come for that weekend and do that, we got you. Okay, we'll give you all the information you need to know.
Yeah.
So reach out to us. We got you.
Yeah.
So then let's do
Shout outs.
shout outs. Our first shout out goes to my Florida friend, Mari T. Thank you. And thank you for staying woke. I appreciate you. Next is Falana H, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you for your comments and just for, hanging in there with Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. And last but not least is Kalanda.
Yeah,
Kalanda.
Yeah, Kalanda.
Kalanda, we appreciate you. We appreciate you being a subscriber. And thank you for your comments, too. And we're sending back the love. Thank you.
And one thing, because you always ask me, is there one more thing? Yes, there is. We thank you, of course, for tuning in and sharing, but please continue to do what you're doing. And quite honestly, some of the viewing has gone down because everybody was looking at us during COVID. Well, COVID is not totally over. It's still here, but we're so much more aware. So, please continue to, if you're viewing already, keep viewing, send it to a friend, laugh about it, joke with it, send it to your Aunt Esther, whatever. But we appreciate the fact that you guys are keeping us out there.
I personally don't think it even was COVID. I think it was our break because it actually went down after that. So, you lose some people. If you're not up there every week doing your thing, some people
but everybody needs a
just
vacation.
move on.
Right,
yeah,
right. Because guess what? We're gonna do it again. We'll tell you right now, because.
But we appreciate those who hung in there. And we love you
and
all.
continue to hang in there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And yes, we do continue with our conversations as we on this wonderful, I don't know, what do you call it? This thing that we have with each other.
Our journey.
Our romance.
Our love story.
All of that. And in that comes a lot of conversations, like my cousin looked at it, let it one time, one of the shows, and she said, y'all making that up. And then, I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, y'all really did that? Yeah, y'all really talk to people about that? Yes, we do.
We do.
So with that, it's just to say that it is authentic. We don't rehearse. We talk about so many things, and as we're doing it, oftentimes we find that as we've had some conversation in the week or the last couple of weeks, but when we're actually filming, we find out that we feel differently about different things, and that's just the way it is because we are different people.
That's absolutely correct.
And then y'all be taking sides and all, like Sharyn, you really was out of bounds with that. I agree with Miss Rosa. Okay, look, okay,
or vice versa. Cause sometimes
yeah. So
but it's all good.
So with that, the conversations continue, and here we go. What are we talking about today? Oh,
well, before we go into today's
right. Let's back up.
I want to recap a little bit from last week, where we spoke about broke
or
broke
broken.
or broken. And we got a lot of different feedback, which is great because y'all know we outside, so I'll be killing bugs. Which is great because like I said, I love seeing and hearing people's views of things. But some of y'all went in.
Yeah, oh yeah, y'all went in, over, and around again.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. But one person was talking about how, it could be, depending on the person's circumstances, don't do this, that, and the other. But, we mentioned that, circumstances is always a reason why.
It's part of the equation, darling.
It could be a petition out there. You know what I'm saying? It's always different circumstances, and we get that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people may be coming to you either broke or broken, and we were just asking that question and putting it out there.
Right. And as we've said many times, when you do encounter a new person in your life, you don't know where they're at on their journey.
Absolutely.
You don't know if they just landed from Mars or whatever, or done, been through 13 partial relationships, or, done did something crazy, just got out of jail and found your number. Right. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you just don't know. So with that, we appreciate the feedback, the suggestions, the opinions, and all of that. It's good because it adds it adds to the richness of the show. It really, really does. And it makes us rethink some things, too.
And gives us other topics to go forward when we're talking about it. So, hey, we might come back with a part 2.
Right. So, with that, not the smoothest segue, but today we're going to be talking about asking for what you want.
Absolutely.
And who we're talking about? We're talking about you and your partner, your significant other, the person that you checking out, loving on, or whatever, but the person that you are focusing on right now in your life. Oftentimes we have not because we ask not.
Right. Right.
So before I say that, let me say this: is it difficult to ask your partner for what you want?
I think life is too short not to ask for what you want.
Because we hear so many stories, and then I talk to people on the phone and people in my life and whatever, and like, well, I blah 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 blah, and she don't do blah 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 blah, and she never blah blah blah. Yeah, well, have you asked her?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to start nothing.
But I think the older we get, the easier it is to ask, because you just get into that phase of your life that, look, I'm just going to ask. If that person is bothered by it, then maybe that might not be the person. Or even if it is your partner, okay, then they know what I want. And that's even in a sexual content. Every relationship you've come from, everybody don't like the same way you may be doing something. So your partner like, look, instead of doing this, can you do this? And, you get an attitude about it, but, try different things and do it differently and just try it out. I mean,
no two people no two people do everything alike. Yeah. You know what I mean? And because they don't mean you got to jump on them, whatever, but it is important for them to know, like Rosa swears that I'm spoiled. That may be true. I swear that she is, and it is true. But I know a lot of that, like 98.9%, is my fault. So, oftentimes, we go, it's the eye roll and the shaking of the head. Yeah. So that's my, believe me, I've had something to do with it because I've had my, my hands all in this. So when Rosa says certain things, a lot of times I just have to give her grace. Because, in my quiet moments, and when it's just me and I'm talking to myself, and I say, it's your fault. You done spoiled that woman. And it's okay. But we've said many times that we film in the backyard or other locations, sometime in the swamp in New Orleans. We do get around. But in any event, staying on focus about, asking for what you want. This is a person who you do any and all things with. And oftentimes, it comes down simply because you haven't asked them. You're afraid to ask them. You asked them and she said no 3 years ago, so you're scared to ask her again. And it could be for whatever. For any kind of thing, any mundane thing, you know what I mean? Change your recipes. Why we got to go to movies on Wednesday night? Why don't we go on Thursday afternoon? Why you always taking my car? I'd rather drive the Honda. It's from the small to the real serious stuff. You know what I mean? The thing is, if this is who you're living with and loving, why do you hesitate asking for what you want? It can deal with, go ahead, please.
For me, I have to say that when I was out there dating, I used to, depending on like who that person was that maybe I was out on a date with, or, you know, trying to get to know, some people come on stronger than other people. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of hesitant to ask certain stuff. Yeah, you were one of them for that. You kind of get hesitant to ask certain stuff. You be like, I don't want to ask her about her old breakup because she already told me, you know, this, that, and the other. Or I don't want to ask her if she can drive 50 miles because we live that far. You know, like, it just kind of depends. And I get that because that's where I used to be. I was afraid to ask people for stuff, you know, or things that I may need that was
important to you.
Important to me, mm-hmm. but not... I didn't want to ruffle any feathers, as they say. Mm-hmm. So I can understand when it's somebody new that we're dating. But as I've gotten older, like when I was dating right before Sharyn, during those phases, like I didn't care. Like, I'm going to ask it. If you got a problem with it, then that may be the reason why we're still not dating to this day. So, I'm just saying.
You're going to know why.
I've gotten to, yeah. And I think, like, just maturity helped with that.
Absolutely.
And more secure as to who you are, you know, within. And so I think my self-esteem was, you know, at a greater level as well.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was younger, I definitely totally can understand. Even when I was dating men, you be like, I'm going to need him to put something on, and he ain't, you know what I'm saying? So, like, do I tell him? Do I, you know? So I get it.
And you do.
I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to. It's asking for what you want is like those hard conversations.
For some of us.
Yeah, but that's true.
Right. Not hard for me. And like she always said, oh, you're so picky, and all I say, sweetie, everyone has a preference. Mm-hmm. It ain't a got to thing. We know, you know, the world, you know, the mushroom cloud will not appear, you know, if I eat scrambled eggs as opposed to sunny side up. I merely prefer sunny side up if I'm going to eat grits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how some people like throw the plate right back at you. You should know. So here we go. Some simple things. When I ask, you know, I'm talking to so many couples and people from my own life or whatever, and people just come across, mm-hmm. you know, your path. And, I said, well, have you asked her? Well, she should know. I said, she should. If she's a mind reader. Is she a mind reader? Well, how the hell will she know if you don't say? Right? Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody's not ready to receive, you know, your preferences, or, you know, and very few things with me are, you know, dual to the death. Right. You know what I mean? Remember, I'm a Gemini. I can change my mind in how many seconds?
2.2.
Nanoseconds, right? And it drives her crazy, you know. But as I tell you, know, nothing is as big as deal. Things are only as big as deal as you want to make them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Well, you know, I want to leave at 4 o'clock. She wants to wait till 6:15. You know what I mean? Are we going to argue about it? No, like, okay, babe, it's all right. You know, I have a preference for being early. And fortunately, so does she. So we worked that out, you know. But you know, with sometimes like with the hard stuff, you know, all kind of stuff goes down in our relationships. As we say, women love very, very hard.
Yes,
we do, we do, and I like the way women love, mm-hmm. you know. But because I love hard as well. But on the same token, there's 1,001 things that can get in the middle of y'all having a smooth, wonderful day, you know. And it could be. Finances, affection, just things that you might want more of or less of.
Right.
You know what I mean? She likes cats. I can only tolerate dogs.
Right.
How do we work that out? Well, one, you need to ask her. You know, you know what I mean? So when she comes home with a cat, I'm looking at her cross-eyed.
Right.
Because you know I don't like cat. I like women. But I ain't crazy about cats.
And I ain't bringing one home. So
right. So that's cool. But if you don't say, how will she know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and if you can't do the simple stuff well, how do you deal with when things are a little bit more challenging and there's more serious things at stake?
Right.
How do you get around those? You know, so.
But even as women and we're dating, like, I've noticed that, especially in lesbian land, you know, we do date quickly and
we get them in and get them out
together quickly. It's like, how does that conversation? I mean, do you ask like, let's live together, or is it kind of like one of those things you just every time you come through, you bring more stuff? You know what I'm saying? So it's like most people, when I talk to them, and they were there first, and the person now lives with them, like, oh, well, we never really had that conversation. She was just over here a lot. So, you know,
boom,
she
now,
just moved in.
Yeah.
Did you ask her to move in? Because that's
Did you have that conversation?
Right.
Well, that is dramatic, and that's a big example.
Yeah,
but it does happen. Because, like I said, if you don't talk about the little stuff, you know, look, I thought it'd be okay because, you know, we fit. You know, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? I thought you wanted me there all the time. You're like, no, not really. Yeah, my weekends are my own.
But we have friends who tell us that they met and then the person hasn't left. Like, we met this one night, came over, and they haven't left since, you know. And now they're going through some issues. So it's like, right, because maybe one person wasn't ready for that.
Right. But on the same token, didn't want to lose them. You know what I mean? Him or her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there you are in that situation. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's okay if you come on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I gotta have my weekends to myself. Right. Or that's when the kids come over from my, you know, second marriage, or whatever it is. Right. You know what I mean? Have the conversations. Do not be afraid to ask her for what you want or what matters to you.
Right.
Like I said, it could be, you know, from grits over easy eggs to some serious stuff. Rosa and I, we, you know, we're doing arm wrestling over the new car. We've had many conversations about, you know, our next vehicle. You know, she has a certain taste in cars, and I have a different one, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she even likes convertibles. Okay. So, you know, she has her taste, she has her car, I have my car, and so now we were, you know, get another car. And the thing is, one thing I made very clear to her, I don't particularly like SUVs. I know women love them. I get it. I just don't like sitting up. And some people enjoy sitting up in a vehicle. I don't. Now, you know, I like a sedan. You know, I like a little bit more, as much luxury and some sport, not the reverse. So in any event, how does she know that? Because we talk about it. It's a big ticket item, and I think it surely calls for a lot of conversation. You know what I mean? And it's not like all she got to do is like, just ask for it, it comes. No, we had to have some dialogue about it, you know, and still having dialogue about it. But have the conversation. That's my only point. Have the conversation. You know, I know what she like. You know, I don't want to buy another black car. You know what I mean? So, you know, she don't want a black car either. But
I'm okay with a black car.
Oh, you're okay with a black? Okay. Yeah, it was me.
Not a black car.
Right. So whatever it is, and we're just using this as a small example. You know, but you know, you guys out there in lesbian land and far beyond, y'all having some serious situations, scenarios out there, and they're not simple.
Right.
They're not simple, and they're not going to be resolved with one conversation or two. Right. But like I said, if you can't have the conversations about the simple things, the hard ones are going to knock you out.
Yeah.
It's simple as that, you know. And you can't have the conversation by yourself. You know how you ready and she's not? Right. You know, I don't want to ask her because I'm going to be upset. Well, she's going to be upset with your decision one way or the other.
Right.
Truly. Or less than supportive of it. Or understanding of it. But like I say, if you never had the conversation, well, you had, you know, -4 already.
Right.
You really are.
I mean, this asking for what you want comes in so many different forms, you know. Like I can remember a couple coworkers at work one time was like, you know, how do you go and even ask your boss for a raise or whatever? You go with the things that you've done and that you are, you know, worthy of this, and you know, you go with who you know you are, and
what you've done.
So I mean, a lot of people get kind of reserved from that too. You just gotta be able and know that it's okay to ask for what you want. Now you may not necessarily get it.
And not only that, and that's a serious example because
that's all I got is serious.
the way we were raised, oftentimes, especially the older you are, the chances are you have been acculturated not to ask.
Right.
You know what I mean? If look, somebody gonna see you and they know you a hard worker and they gonna say she's a deserving little thing, let let me go up there and give her a raise. Says no one.
Right.
You know,
but that has happened now.
And then you got somebody else that you work with on the team who's a spiritual worker. When I say spiritual worker, I mean people who only work when the spirit hits them. One of them. And then you find out this knucklehead done got 2 raises.
Exactly.
While you sitting over there, oh, they'll know I'm a good hard worker on the team. They'll know, and they will not care. You know, because sometimes if we don't ask for it, we won't get it. Right. And asking for it doesn't guarantee that you will get it. It will just guarantee that you let your desires known. Exactly. So, can you ain't doing it at work. Can you do it at home?
Right. And be okay. If you are the person that's asking, be okay asking for it. And if you are the person that someone is asking, just be open-minded about when your partner comes to you, because it's hard for somebody to even come and ask for something, depending on what it is. You know, some people don't have problems with it. Like Sharyn, she had no problem. She'll ask you whatever, like, you got clean drawers on? You're like, that's not your business. You know what I'm saying?
Did you have to use that as an example?
I'm just saying, like, she just asked stuff that's not even concerning to her. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
well, I have to admit, I'm not shy, but I'm not rude either. No, I mean, it's not just what you do, it's how you do it. And, you know, and I will ask some very personal questions should they come up or it comes across my plate. I will take a moment for you and I to go over and let's chat over here in the hallway when no one's at, and I got questions. You know, okay? And we ain't
that's not your business.
And we're not in a relationship, but we are in one of sorts because we're friends, and therefore we do have a relationship. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know however you gleaned my personality. I'm not shy.
Not shy at all.
At all. No.
But you've asked folks stuff that wasn't your business, and you thought your friendship could support that, and most of the time, you know, it backfired.
Well, I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if we need to talk about that right now here.
It's part of asking. You know what I'm saying?
Look, be prepared for the response you may get. That is true. Every now and then,
be prepared for the response, or be prepared that you may not get what it is that you're asking for if it's something tangible, you know. So you gotta.
No harm in asking, is it, folks? That's all I'm saying. Look, like I said, look. If it's a no, I'm good with that. But
and don't come telling them Rosa and Sharyn saying ask, because we don't want you to get the beat down. We just want you to know, you know, it's okay to just ask for what you want and what you need.
Yeah, but again, not to minimize it, easier said than done.
Yeah.
But so what gets in the way of us asking our sweetie, our partner, the one we're seeing, the one we're interested in, you know, asking those questions that matter to you and hopefully matter to her as well. I think, one, that we're afraid of a rejection. We don't want to run her away, upset her, scare her. You know, somebody like, well, you know, if you are going to move in, hun, you were talking about your income from the job. Is that going to be enough? Now you in my financial business? We ain't that deep yet, boo. You know, but you gotta ask the question.
Right, but if because when you move in, you deep.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I need to know, can you afford to do what you want us to do?
Right.
And when you said you wanted to take that trip to, what's that place you want to go? Turks and Court? Was it?
Turks and Caicos.
Yeah. You know, well, let's go there, you know, for our anniversary. Well, sweetie, what are we going to do for money?
Right.
Or whatever. Just had a conversation like, are you okay with taking care of the blah, blah, blah? Because I'll take care of the airfare. You got to have the question. You got to have the conversation before you get to the airport.
Right.
Matter of fact, you ain't going to the airport if somebody didn't buy the ticket, you know.
Right.
So, you know, silly but real examples, especially if they apply to you. Mm-hmm. As Rosa said, I am not afraid of asking anything.
Yeah.
I'm not even afraid of rejection. And then oftentimes, so I'm asking, you know, all of you, you know, what gets in the way? Sometimes your partner, the person who you're trying to hook up with, you know, sometimes they're going to hold you emotionally hostage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't think about it that way. But yeah, rejection is a big thing too.
Oh, absolutely. Because just because you asked for it and may deserve it, don't mean you're going to get it or that you're going to get it from her. Boom. Pow, pow. Right?
Well, I think for me, now that you said that, it has been either rejection, fear of being rejected when you ask, or fear of hurting someone's feelings. I think that has been my main two things. Now I'm okay with not necessarily I want to hurt people's feelings, but I'm okay with asking, even if it does hurt your feeling, because if it's that strong, then you should be able to handle what it is that I'm asking. And like Sharyn said, not necessarily I'm going to get it, but be okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
I like
asking.
I like to be on record as asking. Like when Rosa asked, like, "What do you want to do for your birthday?"
And I don't even know why I asked.
Look! I got notes. Hold on, put it right there in the phone. I like to go, like last year, we went not skydiving, but we went hot air ballooning, and I think she was surprised I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But it's something I've always wanted to do. Though I have been in a plane when people were jumping out, I just didn't jump with them. But and now that I'm older and so much wiser, I'm a little bit more careful what I do. But seriously, we had a wonderful time.
Yeah,
we had a wonderful time.
I was mad I asked her what she wanted for her birthday, what she wanted to do.
So this year, and just in case y'all interested, June the 10th, late spring. So this year, she's already asked, and look, we haven't even gotten to her birthday in April yet, but she's already asked, like, babe, what do you want to do for your birthday? And then she gives me that look, some fear there, like, oh my God, what is she going to say out of her mouth?
And just as I thought, something crazy.
Well, then don't ask.
You're right. Well, that's what somebody's going to say when you ask, like, don't ask next time.
Yeah,
whatever.
So that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
We don't want to belabor the point, if that's the correct word.
Belabor, yeah.
But we just wanted to share with you guys today, some things that we're thinking about, and that is, why don't you ask for what you want of the person who you desire, and hope desires you. So let's say you got past that stage and all that. Now y'all talking about hooking up and booking up and all that. You can't ask her some simple questions. Yeah. That kind of thing. So
and if you can ask, I would like to know why. What's holding you back from asking, whether it's with your partner, at work, something like, what is that? What's that fear for you?
That's where I'm at.
But have you always been okay with asking?
Yes, I've never been shy, and as the older I've gotten, the more emboldened I become. No, I've just never been shy, but I think I've gotten the guys say you're very smooth, and I always tell Rosa, at least 3 times a week, it's not what we say, it's how we say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, she comes off, woo, baby. Ooh, she don't grease the skids, honey. She, poom, Aries.
Right.
You're not trying to be polite. I dance around a little bit. I'm a Gemini. I'm entertaining. And then I come up and like, pow. And you're like, where did that come from? Right. So yeah, I've always been this way.
Okay.
Always been this way. Okay. So I hope somehow the conversation helps you guys, as you think about things or be in a certain situation, like don't be afraid to ask, for what you want, desire, need, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
And if you feel like you deserve it, you probably do.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you ain't got to wait on nobody to give you ice cream and your cake. Right. You know what I mean? You deserve it.
Right.
2 cherries on top. So, like always, we're always wishing you the very best.
Of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke. And we love you.
Absolutely. Bye.